take you to this other story now. A new witness has taken to the stand. This is at the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Ballistics expert Kobus Roefse is being cross-examined today. And let's go to reporter Manqoba Mchunu, who is at the High Court in Pretoria. He's been attending this case. Manqoba, of course, we haven't really caught up with you in the past 2 days because of the story of the Joburg CBD fire. He's been cross-examined today, so I would assume that he took the stand probably late yesterday. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Just start us off with his evidence in chief. What has he told the court?
Well, Masiko, indeed, this witness started this morning, and this is a witness that was brought in today simply because the defense in this case has asked for more time to prepare for evidence. That's cross-examination for the ballistic expert who was called by the state, Chris Mangena, who did testify here in court on Wednesday, giving damning evidence about, the link between accused number 3 to the firearm that was found and confiscated, or to the bullet, rather, Masiko, that fired the shot, or rather the gun that fired the shot that killed Senzo Meyiwa. So what the defense had asked for is that they want to consult their own ballistic expert as far as this evidence is concerned. So we're expecting that cross-examination to resume once those consultations are done. But what we did hear this morning was evidence from a colleague of Chris Mangena, who is a warrant officer, Roefse, who also had done some tests and analysis on the firearm that was confiscated from accused number 3. You recall, Masiko, that we've heard evidence that, in fact, Ntobi had been arrested back in 2015 for a crime that related to taxi violence that had happened in Alexandra. And this is when this firearm had been confiscated from him. And Roefse was the one that had conducted tests on that particular firearm to link it to that incident that had occurred in 2015. And he also detailed just how he had found that firearm. It was in a seal bag when he had received it, and even when he sent it back to the Cleveland police station, he says that this particular firearm was still in a seal bag. And of course, this is all crucial because we've heard from the affidavit of Mangena that when he received this firearm in 2020, that particular seal bag had been opened. And again, questions being raised about the integrity of that evidence and possibly the contamination of the evidence, which of course has also put to the spotlight the issue of procedures as far as the handling of crucial evidence is concerned. But also another issue that was raised with Roefse was around the bullet projectile and the bullet tests that were conducted by Mangena on that particular firearm in comparison to what he had done back in 2015. And one of the questions that was raised by the defense was whether or not, similar firearms, 90 millimeters, could have similar individualistic markings or those stents, that are used to determine the firearm which fired a particular shot. So he was asked as to whether or not it's a possibility that there could be two firearms that share the same characteristics. And his answer was that this is not possible. But take a listen to what he had to say on this.
In your experience as a ballistics expert from 2001, have you ever seen two firearms to leave similar class characteristics and individual characteristics on projectiles or bullets?
My Lord, for instance, if we take this firearm, the CZ75, that might be that the class characteristics might be the same, but individual markings will be different.
And Manqoba, what did he have to say about the cartridges? It looks like that was also a contentious area.
Indeed, Masiko. In fact, one of the questions was around what the evidence that we've heard from Mangena around what happened in the crime scene. You recall that from what we heard from Chris Mangena is that there were two shots that were fired inside the house on that night. He says the first shot was shot on the ground, on the floor, on a 90-degree angle. And this is the ammunition or the bullet that he said had fragmented at the time. And the second one, he says, was the one that might have in fact, that shot, Senzo Meyiwa, and this is the one that ricocheted then to the top of the cupboard in the kitchen. And of course, the question from the defense was around really what happened and whether there was proof that there were 2 shots only fired at that house. And the question came around the fact that there were no other, bullet fragments that were found in the house or other casings that were found in the house. It was only that bullet projectile that was found on top of the cupboard, and I think another one, a small fragment that was found on the floor. So the question was really about the number of shots that were fired on the house. But take a listen to what Ramosepile had asked as far as this is concerned.
From this scene, according to Christian Mangena, the Lieutenant Colonel, at least according to his observations, 2 shots were fired in the confines of this kitchen, and after a thorough search, cartridges were not found. Now, I want you to talk to me about why would, on certain scenes, cartridges be found and not be found on others after the shooting of a firearm like that?
Yes, my lord. Yeah, I have to speculate because, and I don't want to. If there's 2 shots fired, if it's possible that one could have been stuck in the firearm with a firearm jamming, that's one possibility. But the other cartridge, I can explain one, maybe. It's a possibility. I say that's not what happened, but it's a possibility. And the other one, I don't know how it got lost on that scene, my lord.
All right, Manqoba Mchunu live for us there outside the High Court in Pretoria. Let's leave it there for now. He was giving us an update around the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Of course, at the moment, they are on a lunch break and are expected to continue at 2 o'clock.